Am I on?
You are now.
Okay. Hotheads. Give me a paper towel. Don't get mad. I'm an expert at dealing with hotheads.
Why would I get mad giving you a paper towel? That's stupid.
Dealing with hotheads. You'd be surprised how much the Bible gives direction, and it's rubbing off. About dealing with hotheads. Tia!
What?
She's doing a trick on the rug. And even seeing it within ourselves. Do you mind if I preach this time and you can preach later?
She wants to help.
She's doing a good job. No discipline. You know, kids are born with things like this, and you know you never have to show a child how to do bad things. Honey.
Yeah, she said.
So she has an off button to that with.
Come here. Come on.
Apparently she don't. Anyways, discipline. Oh, that poor little thing. Discipline is the key to bringing people not to be hotheads. And, you know, the term hothead comes from when it gets hot outside, that anger rises up in people. People get off just like this, you know, just stick that bottle in her mouth, honey, or...
You got it.
Yeah, honey, yeah.
Jeez, get out of here.
A trick every parent learns early in life.
Peddle your papers. Okay.
Tempers flare when the heat goes up, you know. Cops in the city, man, they have so much more turmoil going on around when the heat rises. I mean, every cop just dreads to see that part of the summer coming. But if you notice, like in the north, where it doesn't get cool or it doesn't get hot a lot, they don't have a lot of that kind of thing going on. But still hotheads, and every once in a while there's someone who comes along that a lot of people who are hotheads that don't need any heat to get there, you know, and excuse me, this is the one that Jesus deals with in the Bible here. Matthew 19:3. Some Pharisees came to him to test him. Hotheads. They asked, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any and every reason? Now they knew that. I mean, that was one of the most common things for somebody to know. Why in the world were they trying to get Jesus on that one, you know? Only because Jesus taught something other than the law. So they figured, well, they're going to get one where they know that the law cannot be broken here. So let's see what the Lord answered to them. In the King James Version, 19:3, and the Bible says, and there was a lot of people around Jesus at this time. We just read 3 now. And he answered and said to them, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they two, or twain, shall be one flesh. can you divorce the flesh of your own body? See what I'm saying? Can you divorce the flesh? Because that which is spiritual is spiritual. That which is flesh is flesh. Can you divorce the flesh of your own body? Think about that for a minute. And that's where Jesus was leading to in this. Wherefore they are no more two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And they say unto him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement, and to put her away? And he said to them, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife except for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. Okay, and fornication is you have joined another flesh. Therefore you have the one that is still pure has the right to say, I don't want anything to do with that other flesh. And before God's eyes, he does, okay? He or she, whichever the case may be. So they were coming to Christ, and they really didn't want to know that, because they had already pretty much figured that out. You know, I mean, it's all in the law of Moses that Moses had written, and so they were just trying to tempt him. And this is what Christ said. This is his conclusions. He says, "For there are some eunuchs," that's a person who abstains from flesh altogether. He doesn't join himself to anybody. There are some eunuchs which were so born of their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. And Christ was saying it's the flesh here that he gave them the instruction. You know, how to deal with a hothead is give him the facts. You know, I keep going back to political views, because those people are just hotheads that don't know the facts. They're mad and they're upset because of everything that's going on, but they don't know the facts. And the best way to deal with that is to stay with the facts, because that alleviates pressure. It's like taking a knife and cutting across the top of a boil. It's painful, but instantly it is relieved. Instantly the pain is relieved. That's like my son when he was real small. He had diaper rash so bad, where his mom didn't really know how to take care of him.
Birth mom.
I'm getting to that. Adopted son, and that was before we adopted him. My wife was straightening me out. And he came to the house, and he was spending the night at the time, or the couple of weeks, whatever it was. He didn't really spend the night. He spent long periods of time with us. And he came over that one day, and we dealt with it for a couple of days, and I finally said, this is enough. So I went and got the solar cane. And his little butt was so red. It looked like it was getting ready for the skin to peel off.
It was blistered and bleeding.
Blistered. It was just horrible. I mean, I think if we had taken him to the doctor, if we'd have had a smart doctor, probably would have done the same thing. But I just took and sprayed his little bottom with that solar cane. His little eyeball got about this big. He goes, and he looks at me like, don't ever do that again.
And he screamed. Slams them legs
let out about a half a scream, yeah. And but it was instant relief. I mean, And that's the way it is with, exactly the same way it is with relieving a hothead. And that's what Christ did here. That's what he did there. Another time, somebody came to him and with greed. Now, the love of money is the root of all. There's a lot of different things people get upset about in life. Here's one where the guy came to him and he said that one of the companies, this is Luke 12:13. One of the companies said to him, that's people that were staying around there, "Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me." And Jesus quickly pointed to him that it was not his place, that he could have, and he could have done it very well. And sometimes we just we step up into the place of doing things where we really aren't supposed to be doing. Christ could have done. He's the ruler of the world. You know what I'm saying? He could have done that, and he could have taken the authority, but that was not what he was here for right now. And that's what he pointed out to the brother there, you know. And if Christ would have said anything, he probably would have said, what does commandments say? Love your brother as yourself. And if both brothers would have done that, there wouldn't have been any problem, you know. But now, last night in a dream, I'm pointing to this by the Lord because last night in a dream we were in like a class setting, and we were doing a test, some kind of an international group something, and I'm sure it's something that the Lord says is going to come into my life, and I don't know. You know, I don't know what it is. There are a lot of dreams the Lord gives me that I don't know what it is. But in this dream there was a hothead. And I had like one of those books that a test book that you open up and it plays the sound. And there was a malfunction in my book. And I closed the thing, you know, and I'm trying to get it to be quiet. And I thought I had it quiet, but it was still playing on a lower key that somebody else could hear that I couldn't, because I'm a little bit tone deaf in this ear. And a hothead sitting over there thinking that it was this lady who still had her book open. "Hey, your book is this and your book." I'm like, you know, I'm like, it's not her book, it's my book. And he said something else, you know, and I said something into the reference of, "Thank you very much for letting me know." You know, so I answered the problem rather than the cause. That's what you need to do with hotheads. You need to answer the problem rather than the cause. If you answer the cause, you're going to have more cause, you know. And maybe that's how we need to deal with liberals on that standard, in that effect. Answer the problem rather than the cause. Because see, we can have complaints about this person, complaints about that person. So go to the basics of what they're talking about. And most of the time you're going to find out we're talking about the same thing, but trying to get there different results. With different results. So, like for instance, everybody wants to have an ample amount of money, be able to buy what they need, you know. But there is a select few that is greedy, I know. But when you find those, just point out to them the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. So. The Bible says, "Blessed is the peacemaker." That's Matthew chapter 5 in the Beatitudes there. The Bible says, "Blessed is the peacemaker." We should, first and most of all, be peacemakers. And listen, be ready for that individual who is not willing to be made peace. Christ was. Okay? First Peter says, show proper respect to everyone. Love the families of believers. Fear God. Honor the president. Well, you might say here it says emperor, but it says honor the president. That is a president who has honor. You know, right now, I don't think the fellow we have in there is a president. He's certainly, you know, they are talking about the integrity of the Oval Office. As far as Trump is concerned, they got no room. Are you kidding me? After 8 years, the illegal, lying rhetoric that we have been drugged through the mud and ignored. Christians have been totally ignored. The values of this country, the integrity of our Constitution, compromise. Give me a break. You're not going to get me thinking anything about Trump and the integrity of the Oval Office. He is far above anything that Hillary or Obama represent. They can't even look up and see the guy. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't murdered anybody. He just hasn't murdered anybody. He hasn't lied. He didn't erase 33,000 emails that were subpoenaed by Congress. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Now, these are the facts. These are the facts. So, which is a crime, should be a punishable something like 10 years on its own. And they, you know, the administration in there now won't even answer to it. So that's an answering with the facts. And they have the nerve to say he is not worthy to be president. Calling good bad and bad good. If this is not the last days, folks, they're not coming. All right, thank you for joining. We'll see you next time right here. Another great message, Crossing the Middle Ministry.